Climbing gear is a black hole of money and time, and it can be really confusing for first-time beginners to know what you need to bring to be able to climb at the gym. So in this video, I'm going to go through my climbing bag, and we're going to talk about all the items that I use when I'm climbing in the gym. What's up guys, I'm Marcus from Ascensionism, and like I said, in this video, I'm going to be going through my climbing bag. So I'm heading out to climb in a couple of hours, and I just thought it would be good to go through my bag to kind of show you guys what I bring every single time I go climbing, so that if you're planning to go to a gym or you're kind of uncertain of what you need to pack, hopefully this video will have some information for you. Now, this video is part of a larger series about everything you need to know about climbing for the first time. So again, if this is your first time or one of your first times, or you have some questions that you're unsure about, I'd recommend checking out that video. There's a lot of great info in there. All right, so I thought we'd just kind of get right into it. So first of all, right at the top, I have my clothes. I have an entire other video on what to wear when climbing, but in terms of clothing, basically you just want mobility. Just something that will allow you to have a full range of motion, something that's stretchy, and something that's preferably breathable, because climbing is a pretty strenuous activity and you're going to get hot. So right kind of at the top here, I have a couple pairs of climbing shoes. Now I have two of them, but you only need one, obviously. So you can see I've got my shoes here. These are kind of my softer, more comfortable shoes. These ones are a little more downturned and aggressive. Now, climbing shoes are pretty useful because they allow you to get a better hold on the footholds and make it easier to climb, but they're not necessary. So if you don't have a pair of climbing shoes, that's okay. You can still go climbing, and you actually have two really good options. The first option is just to rent shoes. Almost every climbing gym will rent shoes for like $7 per session. You can get a pair that will fit and they'll help you climb. The other option is just to kind of wear a pair of street shoes that you already have. Vans or other flats, something like that, works really well because they kind of have these rounded toes that let you kind of grip on holds like that. I would recommend wearing a pair of Vans before you wear a pair of runners. Most people wear runners, but they're not that good for holding on. So climbing shoes, they're pretty important, but if it's your first time and you don't have a pair, that's okay, you've got options. A harness. Now, a harness is important if you're going top roping. So if you're with a partner who knows how to belay, a harness is essential because it allows you to kind of tie into the rope so that you can go climbing. If you want, you can rent a harness. Again, climbing gyms will rent harnesses. It's pretty simple. You just ask for one at the desk when you first check in, and you can kind of solve that problem of not having one fairly easily. The other option, if you don't want to rent, is just to not use a harness at all. So if it's your first time, or even if you just don't feel like top roping or you're by yourself, lots of people will just go bouldering and you don't need a harness to boulder. So I've got a harness, but if it's your first time and you don't have one, you don't have to stress that much about it. You can either rent one or just not use one. Okay, next we've got chalk bag. Now a chalk bag, obviously it has chalk in it. Chalk's good because your hands will get sweaty when you climb, and chalk kind of dries them off and lets you grip the holds easier. I think everyone in the climbing gym should wear chalk. If you touch holds without chalk, you kind of grease up the holds and it can make it harder for other people to climb. So, just kind of as an act of etiquette, it's best to wear chalk. If you have a more experienced partner who you're going climbing with, you can kind of ask them to bring a chalk bag for you or just borrow some of their chalk. If not, a bag like this costs about $30. But even so, you can buy just like big bags of loose chalk and they'll sell them at the climbing gym. Those cost $10 or less and you'll have it for months. So it can be really good to just pick up some chalk so that you don't have to worry about kind of greasing up the holds with your hands. So next thing in my bag is the chalk. Let's see. Here we have a belay device. This is probably something that as a beginner you don't need. This is just for belaying other people when they want to climb on top rope, but to use one of these, you have to know how to belay, and also some gyms will provide you with belay devices, so not super important. You don't need to worry about having a belay device. Next, face mask for Rona reasons. I'm going to stand on my soapbox for a little bit. I would say wear a mask when you're climbing. It doesn't really affect you, and it can keep other people safe. But if you're watching this video at a time when Corona is gone, you don't have to worry about that. And then we've got, finally, just food. That's not food, water and food. I have a lone granola bar. Snacks are always good when you're climbing if you get hungry, and water is super important because, again, it's a really strenuous activity and you're going to get thirsty. So having water, specifically having an Nalgene, will get you a little bit of clout in the climbing gym, but any water bottle will technically do. And then finally, I've just got a bag to carry everything in. Now, I actually really like having a bag like this, a duffel that I can just carry around super easily, because when I'm climbing, I have in my pockets, I have like my car keys, I have my wallet, I have my phone, and I don't like keeping those things on me when I climb because they get in the way and I'm scared that they're gonna fall out. So having a bag that I can put my valuables in and then carry around with me, I find that super useful. So that's a quick look inside my climbing bag. Again, you don't need all this stuff if you're a beginner climber. In fact, I would say you only really need 3 things. So the 3 things that I think you need to go climbing, you should bring your water, you should have some food just in case, and you should have chalk. As long as you have those 3 things, the rest of the stuff can either be rented or you can do without it. Again, secret number 4, if it's still COVID, you need your mask, you should definitely bring that. But if those are the only 3 things you have, that's okay. You can still go climbing and hopefully you can still have a great time. Alright guys, that's everything. Again, this video is part of a larger series about everything you need to know about climbing for the first time. Check that out if you want. There's some super good information there. Also, don't forget to subscribe. It really helps out the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.